Okay, Deadartstudios digital, here we are in the opening page of Photoshop. This is going to be the channel where I do my digital art. I do painting, IRL, acrylic and oils and mixed media, but I want a place for my digital art. Here's my sort of window of creativity. Various things I've got in here. It's titled New Art because this is the art I've done on my new computer. So let's try and blend a couple of pieces together. It's a nice way to make art, is to create by using your other pieces, mixing them together. I've been doing this for many years. Now you might say, but you haven't created it from scratch. Well, this piece here that I did make earlier, and it was going to be my first video, but I destroyed the audio, and there's nothing people hate more on YouTube than bad audio. So rather than fix all that and sort of spend hours correcting my own mistakes, I'm going to open a couple of images, try and blend them together to create a new piece of art. Let's have a look through the various bits that we've already done and see if any lend themselves to sort of becoming part of this art. I'm looking at this one here, number 3, because it has similar color schemes. So I'm just copying that and then I'm going to paste it in here. It also has the same canvas size, square, which is nice. I do like to do square stuff. And let's just start up here in the top right hand corner. We've got this blending mode where we can go through all these different things, and they're just like different algorithms that create different effects by mixing various aspects of the lower and upper layers of the two. And let's see what we can find here. Anything cool? I mean, that's kind of cool, isn't it? Dark and moody. That's cool too. I like the colors there. So I'm thinking, can we improve this piece is what I'm thinking for this. Sometimes I'm thinking, can we change it? But since I've not showed this in any form of social media before, I'm just going to go for can I improve it. So we've got hue, which is what I've selected here. And I'm going to merge these two layers together. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to duplicate this lower teddy bear layer and save it just in case I want to change my mind and use it again in the piece. And I'm going to do the same for that as well. I'm going to drag it down to the bottom, and then I've got the original 2 images that I brought in ready for if I want to use them again. I'm going to merge the 2 layers now. Merge the layers, and then I'm just going to go to these ones and just check that my blending mode's set back to normal, because otherwise that'll create havoc later in the day. Now we've already got, I think, an improved piece here. The blues in the middle here and the blacks, they kind of focus it better on the actual piece. This sort of hooded face, teddy bear face that we've got. What else can we do with that? Let's have a go into the art again. So you're like, well, I'm starting out on my art journey and I haven't got all this art I can just go into. Well, you know, I did too. And sometimes I will start at the beginning, and sometimes I'll go into other pieces and you know, create that way. The trick is just to have fun. You can use photos you've taken on your mobile phone. That's a good way to do this as well. You know, just go into your photos. Now this, as you can see, I'll go through the blending here. I mean, it's kind of cool. Yeah, I quite like that actually. Look at that, it's made sort of, it kind of works, doesn't it? Weird. The figures are sort of together, they're becoming one. That's interesting as well. That's a bit more subtle. Yeah, you can just use photos that you've taken around of textures or people and things and start blending and moving them around in Photoshop. And that's interesting as well. And the interesting thing about this is you get so many options that it sort of starts to take a. You have to be like, oh, are we going a different direction? Are we abandoning some already cool art? Because, you know, if we just hide that for a second, this is kind of cool. We can kind of keep that, can't we? Let's export that if we ever want to use it for anything. Export as maximum quality. We're just doing it as JPEG, you know. That's the kind of thing that's going to annoy people, isn't it? Oh, you didn't use PNG. But anyway, JPEG. Save. We've got a record of it. Now we can play with this and see if we can create something different. That's subtle, but I think this one that we saw with the black is interesting. Now, can we change the opacity of that? That's going to show us how much. Well, no, it's not. It's not when it's on subtract. It's not. Let's have a look again. No, you get all or nothing when you're on subtract. Let's do it. Let's merge those. Merge those layers. Now we have got the background. We can bring to the top again. Let's bring that up and see what happens. That, because it might be, I don't know, interesting to merge those two together as well somehow. I think we're overcomplicating things at this point. So I think what I want to do is bring this and make it square, really. I mean, one way to do that is to crop it, but you're going to lose the quality. Let's go into the liquify tool, and I can show you how I work in the liquify tool a little bit and still get the effect that I want of making this maybe bigger. I mean, it's, let's just pull it out, and it's gonna change the artwork, but look, we can pull down here and create a bit of a, almost a hip here. I'm going off piece there, and going off a little bit. Let's get the black pulled out first. And the head. That. Yeah, get the black out first by just pulling it with the liquify tool. Got that there, and then let's make this brush smaller on the move. That's too small. Bring that back in to here. Okay. Got this sort of like bust, like one of those Roman or Greek statues going off. Let's press OK. Now, do we like the green up here or not? These bits up here, I don't know. It's don't know if I like that. It is tempting just to put a layer in, get a brush, go black, and just draw it onto it. That's not full black though, is it? There we go. It's better. And then we can just come down here. Could leave a little bit. Just a little hint of what we had, like that. Something like that. Maybe over here a bit as well, like that. Interesting. Merge those. Put this up at the top. See if it creates anything interesting for me to further our work. Not really, so let's undo that and let's go back up to this and go into the liquefy tool again, and then what we'll do is we'll use the bloat tool and we'll make it a very big brush, and then that'll sort of make the whole thing bigger and fill the piece a bit. And we can do the same with the sort of move tool, because what we want to do is just fill the frame a bit more. And let's make that brush smaller so we can bump into here. Just make the sort of waist element of that look more appealing, composition wise. We can push those down as well. Just a little flare in the background, we could sort of flare that out, couldn't we? Like it's a little wisp coming through. That's kind of cool. There we go. Yeah, so this is the kind of thing I'm going to be doing on this channel. I'm just going to be chatting and drawing away and making art. And, you know, if you just want to chill out and watch something like this for a while, then this is the place to be, I guess. Let's do one last thing before we call this a day. And then you can tell me which you prefer, teddy bear or weird face thing figure that we've got here, filter. One of my favourite filters is the plastic wrap, and since this seems to be heading into a slightly weird zone where you might expect somebody to be wrapping this up in plastic or something, that's a vibe I'm getting from this piece of art. Let's do that and see how it looks. That's a bit more subtle, isn't it? But is that actually doing anything? So let's, yeah, it just makes it look a bit more subtle, which I quite like actually. But then on the other hand, quite like some of that as well. Got a light, and I might just mask it. This little button down here in the bottom right, that is mask. And if we take a fairly big brush, switch the color to black, then we can erase this top layer. We'll just go in and around the head here. I'm going to keep it on the head because I like it there. I'm going to get rid of the sort of glare that it's made in the background. I'm going to take it off the body as well. I'm going to come around as if we're drawing a collar, just so that it's just on the head. And then if we sort of change our minds and we're like, oh no, actually I did quite like it down here a bit, then we can just bring that back in here. Around the edges like that. That's a cool thing about masking. So select where we want the effect to be. Might just see if it looks better if we... No, it doesn't. It does not. Let's apply that mask. Let's merge those together. Yes, I'm working very destructively, but that's how I like to do it. It's just some art that I'm making. I've not got a client or anything. Yeah, I think a smaller brush here, like this 100 point. Let's have a look at that. Let's make a new layer because that's an oil brush, and that's going to sort of mix and push around the layer below if you're on the same layer. Let's have a look at what kind of things we've got. Oh, I quite like the happy face. This subtle. That's too happy. Let's put the new layer back on again, and let's just go for that and have a couple of goes at it. A bit too. There we go. It's quiet, isn't it? Let's do a little eyebrow or two up here. See if we can emote more with eyebrows. One last go. Too big. Yeah, so look at that. No, that's not really worked. Needs to have a gap like that one. Too big. Too faint. Too big. It's come down. Too faint. Not too shabby, I think. Looks alright. Cool. Let's get a white brush. Zoom in pretty far. Let's make it smaller. Let's sign it. Deadartstudios. There we go. Reset the view. Which do you prefer, the teddy bear at the beginning or the weird character that we've created now? I'm not sure what it is. Let me know what you think it is in the description. If you like my channel, it's brand new, help me out. Like and subscribe. If you want to look at my real life art with paint, go to Deadartstudios, but this one is Deadartstudios Digital. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.